Thanks so much for joining us for this week's City Council Recap. My name is Chris Los. I am joined by Carmen. Thank you for being here.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. And Jodine.
Hi.
Hey. So ladies, you've got to do a couple now. Are you feeling better, easier? Did it feel weird at first, the first time?
Yeah, I was terrified.
Yeah?
I think it wasn't too bad. It's just, like I was telling you guys earlier, is watching the recap, like, I don't like to see myself.
Okay.
But I like to inform the public. I like to watch the city council meeting.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of things in this meeting that I was just like, oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know about that. So you guys will get to hear a lot of great stuff going on.
Yes.
And
we're not professionals. Like, this is not what we do. None of us are news anchors.
We're professionals, but not in this.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're talking. They don't even know, right? Like, so, like, for anyone watching this,
This is not our job.
This is not our day job. Like, nobody here works for a news network or at KGM as a professional anchor. So that means you can join us, and we would love to hear your perspective. That's the beautiful piece of this. I learned from these women and, like, the rest of the team. Like, it's cool to hear something that we all watch together, but just through a different lens. So, kgmtv@gmail.com. We would love for you to join us. Send an email. Hey, I'd like to be a part of it. All you got to do is watch a meeting, take down some notes, and we go through it together.
Even easier, when you post the recaps, they could just comment there or message you.
Yeah,
So
no,
if they go,
Carmen, I don't want that. I want them here with us.
No, but to join us.
Okay.
Join us.
If they go, oh, I didn't know where the email was, or I
Good
didn't
point.
know. So if you see it on social media or you're watching it on YouTube, anywhere that you watch this, you can send a message.
And we do know that
to-
these Facebook streets are wild.
Yeah, so that he makes it really easy to join. Way too easy.
I do think it's important to have different opinions. Like, because you might be interested, there might have been something going on that you were interested in, and I might have been interested in something completely different. I mean, it's a very diverse, Monrovia is so great because it is so diverse, and we want everyone's opinion.
Yeah.
Or we could have been interested in the same thing, but we heard it, like you said, through different lenses. Something, like, and then we can sit here, recap, and go, oh, yeah, like, that's what it was about, or that's what, you know.
No, I learn that all the time. So we'd love for you to join us, kgmtv@gmail.com. Be part of our recap team. We're covering the meeting from March 18th on Tuesday, kicking off at 7:33. Invocation was from Miss Barbara Golar, who is also on the recap team and a board member here at KGM, chair of the board. Pledge of Allegiance from Edward Belden. All council members were in attendance. No reportable action from the closed session. There was a closed session, no reportable action. The study session was on street vending ordinances from our mayor, Becky
But that was
Sheldon.
like a special session, not the closed session.
Correct.
And
Study.
I started watching it instead of, because I didn't watch the thing on the date, so I started watching the street vendors, and I was like, it was pretty interesting. I kind of want to go back. And they talked about like door knocking, how they used to sell encyclopedias or something, and I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but I'm like, since I'm in real estate, I was like, I want to go back and can I still door knock? Would you open your door if I show up? But
those meetings too are on the KGM YouTube channel, so you can go in and look at all of them.
and you can go back like years, so there's a lot of information if you want to be informed. So not going out a rabbit hole, but going back to the they brought in a pet from the Humane Society.
Oh, yeah.
Coming back to the city meeting. His name is Theo, and he's up for adoption because his family lost their home in the fires. And we had a guy, I didn't catch his name, but he came from the Humane Society and talked to about how many pets are needing homes. And they're having a different type of pet adoption where you can come and basically take the pet while the family gets back to their homes.
Yeah, foster them.
So it's a temporary foster, and then those pets will go back to their current family once they get back on their feet through the fire. So I thought that was a really great way to help both sides, right? So they're not fully separating them, but
Yeah, I mean, we always have the Pet of the Month, which is a great program, but the dynamic has really changed, and what's going on, not just at Pasadena Humane, but in all the shelters, they're just flooded with these animals from the fires, and finding short-term fosters is usually a little easier. This brings a new element because it's an unknown time frame. The other thing they pointed out, which was really key and something super easy for us all to do, is they desperately need food for these animals. They have a food pantry. It's usually pretty well stocked, but because of the extra number of animals they're completely wiped out. So they have a great system at Pasadena Humane. It's a drive up. You drive through, you unload, and you go off. And they need all kinds of food. It's not just dogs and cats. We were talking earlier. They have fish. They have birds. They have
leopard geckos.
Yeah, they have all kinds of animals
A
there.
whole zoo.
Yeah.
The other thing they talked about is they're having a fun event on April 6th at the Brookside Park at the Rose Bowl. It's a community building. They said no fundraiser. Just come and have fun.
Yeah, that's April 6th at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, the Wiggle Waggle
Park.
Walk, right?
Yep. Wiggle Waggle Walk and Run.
It's a great event they have every year.
The title is amazing. Great title. PR2, 13 minutes in, they talked about March 29th, 2025 being Vietnam War Veterans Day, presented to our very own council member Spicer. Thank you for your service. And to all the veterans, we appreciate you. I know we have a lot of veterans here in Monrovia.
My daughter is a veteran.
Well, thank her for us too. Send this clip to her. PR3, 17 minutes in, there was recognition of Monrovia Parks Wilderness and Recreation. That was read by Edward Belden, presented to MPWR, Monrovia Parks Wilderness Reserve.
Correct.
Monrovia Parks Wilderness and Recreation Foundation.
Oh, it's one word off. Okay.
Yeah. I didn't catch the name of the person that received the award, but he was talking about that they have about $70,000 for shade structures to go on the parks, and
At
about
Library Park.
and about 50,000 more coming up, and that is a lot of this, or all of this is through generous Monrovians donations.
I will say, I spend a lot of time in different parts of LA, and we have a great park system. I still wish we had a dog park, hint, hint, everyone. But if you drive by, we have a lot of parks. Every neighborhood has one. They're so well done.
Yeah.
And we're very lucky to have not only a really strong department within the city, but organizations like this that ensure that our kids have a safe place to play. And not just kids, they're great for adults too.
Yeah. So you can see that it's 17 minutes in on the link to the meeting below. PR4, I kind of messed this up. See, we're going to get a few things wrong, but just go in and see the whole thing on the link below. It's like PR4 and 5. I got them put together, but it was...
So...
Go ahead.
The printout of the agenda, it's wrong. It says PR5 twice.
So
PR4,
okay.
I know, I thought wait, I had to rewind, I had to go back. So PR4 was the recognition of the CERT, PR5 was the recognition of the graduates of the CERT, and PR6 was the Red Cross Month.
Correct.
So
yes, PR4 and 5, 20 minutes in on the link, recognition of CERT volunteers, community emergency response team. Also shouted that we had the most volunteers, I want to say, hours to help with the Eaton fire. So
yeah,
salute to our team.
I think it just shows us being good neighbors, but also these people are putting themselves on the line for all of our neighbors. It's such a great program. I think they said it's only been around though since 2007. Okay, yeah,
that's cool.
So, and we had a really large class of people signing up to say, hey, I want to help.
Yeah.
Because fire and police can't do everything, as we've just witnessed.
Yeah.
So the other thing that I found interesting is that they said the graduates might want to choose to participate or not.
Yes.
So you could go through the whole training, understand how it all works and all the things that you learn, and then just kind of go back into your own little world. But the training is still there. So if there's an emergency and then you're trained and you want to help, then you can come in. But there's no commitment. So if it's something you're interested in doing, but you don't want to do it because you feel how long am I going to be committed? You're not. You just come, learn,
Get the
hang out with
information.
other neighbors, Yeah, and you pick and choose how you want to be involved, and so I thought that was great.
Yeah, and shout out to our team for being like I love seeing we do have a volunteer community, and seeing that is great.
Can I give a little shout out to Eddie Ramirez? She's a friend of mine, and
Edie.
Edie was up there. Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, sometimes my accent shows up, but yeah.
That's all right. She's awesome. Also, I'll shout Susie Dobson. She was there for PR6, proclaiming March 2025 as Red Cross Month, which was read by Councilmember Jimenez. But Susie shared how they've helped, and she's just an incredible woman and very helpful also.
I know sometimes the Red Cross doesn't get great press, but they do great work, and they were vital to people who did lose their homes and giving them a place. And people were there for quite a while, and they are a great organization. They have a lot of different programs. If you're not CPR certified, go and get CPR certified through the Red Cross. It's very easy to do.
And it's a great knowledge to have.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and they said that it was a 140-year mission.
Yep.
So it is amazing when you think about it. We just take it for granted, but it's not been around forever. So.
Cool. There was the student report from Jasmine Rodriguez that was 32 minutes in, talked about Gatsby theme for prom season, spring rally with the SpongeBob theme, which sounded colorful and bright, and they were very excited, along with the MEOs coming up at the high school, which my son always had a fun time with that. That's the Monrovia Elementary Olympics.
Oh, yeah, so fun.
It's super cool.
My kids had fun with it. I got to walk to the high school. It wasn't so fun for me, but the kids were out. Their energy was great. Just a little shout out. April 26th is the prom. We usually get asked for any fun clothing that they can use at the prom. So if you have anything, reach out to the high school. They will be so grateful to get boys, girls, everything.
Yeah, I know there's an organization in Monrovia that does a whole collection, and I know down at Bargain Box in Arcadia they have a whole prom section as well. I think each city has something that goes on to help clothe and provide accessories and everything for people, because it's expensive. I had twin girls, and I used to
double the fun.
Yeah, double the fun, and they were professional prom people. They didn't just go to their prom; they went to everyone's prom.
Oh god, that's like double the cost.
Yeah, so we used to joke that we were running a prom shop out of our house because we just invite people over to come borrow dresses.
Yeah, when my kids were at the high school, I want to say that they had a place at the high school that you could bring the clothing. Yeah. And then the kids, it would be like a closet, and I don't remember, like at the shop, whatever, where you go buy tickets or whatever. I think that's where they had it.
That's great.
But I mean, just call the high school. I'm sure somebody will help.
Yep. From there, they moved to consent calendar. It was consent items 1 through 12 voted through in one motion.
Order of business was right before it. They said they had nothing.
Correct.
I have it at 3248, and then they went to consent calendar. Sorry.
That's all good. Public comment. Karen DeClue, she was advocating for our aquatic center. Shout out to you, Karen. She has been at school board meetings. She was at our house party at the park also with a bunch of green shirts out there. It was just great getting information out. Shared what the pool meant to her. Would love to see the city work with the school district. That's 37 minutes in on the link. You can see her comment. Followed by Randy Duke, I believe, who would also like to see the pool reopened. Shared what it meant to him. Norma, following that, was also hoping that the school and city could work together to open the pool up. I would like to see that personally, just for the piece of, I don't know if this is just a school thing. The school, the track too, those, if you remove the sports from it, what those facilities can do in revenue for the school, city, all of the above, and the services they can both provide are pretty cool.
One of the things I don't understand about Monrovia High Campus is looking at our neighborhood campuses in other cities. I used to go and walk at Arcadia High. It is packed. Every single sports facility is packed with adults after school. The community is using that facility after school. Yeah. You go to Monrovia and there's one person walking. My friends and I don't walk there because we didn't feel safe. And there's no reason for us not to all be using that track or basketball courts or whatever.
Yeah. We used to walk because I used to live across from the high school after I graduated, and a friend of mine and I used to walk, and there was quite a bit of people. But then somehow, I don't want to give misinformation, but I thought that there was a thing that said they were not allowing community people to come in. But I'll follow up and.
I think there was a period of time when it was like that.
Yeah, a year ago it was open, and I believe it is open to the public, because people don't use it. But the pool, it would be another thing, and there would be liability and everything like that. But you can sell memberships. There's so many ways to. It's such a great program, and swimming is great for everyone.
Yeah. And I do know Dylan reached out to them to see how they could work together, along with Representative Chu, and how they could get involved to help get it funded.
Interesting.
And all of that.
So I want to go back to Randy Duke just a little bit, because he was wearing a shirt that he wore when he worked at the high school.
Yep.
At the pool. And he still fits in that. So
I know.
shout out to him for that. And then I believe her name is Norman Weber. She said, if there is a will, there's a way, as for, making the pool a public place for the community. Yeah. And she was surprised that we got an all-American city without having a pool, which later on you'll see that Dylan replied to that, which I thought that was interesting.
So it was the city manager's report at 45 minutes in. Dylan talked about the Anderson House preparation, getting close, the the work they're doing with the Historic Society, 2 fire explorers being accepted into the U.S. Forestry Service Academy.
The Forest Service Explorer Wildland Academy. And they were females. They are.
Amazing. Talked also about paving equipment getting unloaded at Canyon Park, which means it's getting closer to ready. And also talked about burying the fallen trees and stuff back into the soil.
Yeah.
And how that was confusing to FEMA, because they're used to removing things.
I noticed that, because I was like, that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Well, all the debris. I mean, they did a really great job of not taking stuff to landfills.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really important that, we are stewards of this earth. And one of the things I love about Monrovia is that we are committed to maintaining our hillside, our wilderness preserve that we have in our possession. I think it's important that we have nature, that we are part of the land, and we're not just building upon it and destroying it. We're like doing good things and
doing
right by it. Exactly.
Yeah. So one thing that jumped out at me from that was that they collected seeds to replicate in the dam keeper's house. So, and we already talked about the only materials they removed was from this past weekend,
right? When
we had the rain and there was some stuff going on. But imagine collecting all those seeds and being able to replicate what we have and not lose anything. I just love that. I love that.
Yeah, that's cool. RCM2 discussed the Lemon Avenue Reservoir project.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Before we go there, I'm so sorry. Dylan talked about the theme for the celebration they're having is Welcome Place. They're planning a large celebration of I didn't quite understand what it's called, but it's Fountain to the Fall, or this year that they will have some sway and they will do a lot of great stuff for the city. So let's get ready to celebrate whenever they do open.
Cool. He shared his.
Oh.
That's all good. Edie made a comment at 53 talking about the Lemon Avenue Reservoir project. Shared her thoughts, what she feels should be prioritized, air quality issues. She was basically sharing parts of Dylan's letter that he had written.
So I read out her main points. So she had 5 main points that he talked about. The use of categorical exemptions cannot be used in this. The traffic, there's a lack of traffic plan. There's an air quality issue. There's a lack of communications. And there is an environmental checklist that must be done. She talked about how it was Dylan that approached the city of Bradbury. And I guess there's a lot of diplomatic stuff going on behind the scenes, trying to get both city managers to have a win-win for both cities. But Edie really wanted to highlight the work that Dylan has been doing on our behalf. And then Dylan wanted to highlight that it gives some credit to the city council.
Yeah, if you did, I mean, to paint you a picture, this property that they're talking about where the water wells, for lack of a better word, are on the north side of the street, which is Bradbury, and on the south side of the street is Monrovia. And so you have people making decisions that are going to affect Monrovians, and we should be voicing our dissent against these practices that when Dylan went into the detail of what they are and want to do, it was a little mind-boggling that they would expect that Monrovia would bear this burden. I do think the people who live along that street need to get together, because what it sounded like is there is a history of Bradbury ignoring Monrovia. Yeah. And so the only thing, in my opinion, when you start having a city ignore another one, the only thing that's going to work is the people getting together, and unfortunately they're going to have to sue them. And I'm not a litigious person, but in this case, I do think those neighbors in their best interest should be getting together and getting an attorney.
And so what I understand that's going to happen is the Lemon Avenue Reservoir Project is going to turn it from a reservoir project or a reservoir area to a residential area. Well, and so they're trying to do all these changes to prep it to build more homes.
They have to dig up the existing infrastructure, which we don't know what's in there. And then they're going to rezone it for a single family home. But it's that taking something, I don't know how long it's been there. I think it's quite a while, because the well is, they can't use these wells. And I also thought it was interesting that they're going to keep the above ground one, but the below ground one, which is the one that is going to cause the most issue, that's the one they're going to demolish, for lack of a better term. But what really concerned me was the amount of traffic going up and down Mountain for a 9-month period, I believe, to haul away the materials, which may or may not be toxic. We don't know. That was super concerning.
I want to keep moving through this and not spend too much time. An hour in, you could see it. Correct. But we need a we gotta Carmen, they got to see this in 30 minutes. We're trying to make this happen so y'all don't have to sit through the 2 hours and 30 plus minutes that we did. Okay.
Got it.
An hour. It was long, almost 3 hours. There was an hour and night in. Councilmember Jimenez gave his report. Monrovia Reads talked about that. Along with the Carnegie Library that was here in Library Park, which I never knew about at all until seeing that.
I learned that through the MAP program. They talked about the library being there.
That's cool.
I sold the house of one of the librarian or the woman that funded this, but I don't want to keep us longer. But
awesome. Yes. He talked about the La Rio staging area, which was where they were taking the stuff from the Eaton fire. It has been closed. They're testing soil and air soon. He talked about the annual well conference, water contamination. Councilmember Belden had his report, talked about the Clean Power Alliance, gave an update on that. Center Stage receiving a grant as well, talked about the sun storage rebate info. So that's an hour 15. You can get more from Councilmember Belden. Dr. Kelly talked about March 21st, the Know Your Rights training, which is coming up. So definitely get to that.
Weekend?
Yes. Compost Palooza tomorrow. Compost Palooza. Talked about House Party at the Park, the M-Town Awards. Hey, I like that shirt, Carmen. I didn't see you there, but it was great. I love it.
There's a lot of people there. I'm sure there's a lot of people you didn't see. It was a great event.
Thank you to everybody for coming out.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was fun. Like, it's community hanging out. We're honoring people, and that's really what it is. It's kind of, think of it like a family reunion and an informal class reunion at a park with great music.
And great food.
Yeah, and thank you to Mayor Shevlin, Councilmember Kelly, Councilmember Spicer for all being there as well. Appreciate that. Talked about April 1st, the street fair and farmers market update. Raw inspiration. Oh, and staff. There was raw inspiration, and the staff worked to bring Altadena vendors to help support their businesses. So they don't have a street fair anymore because of the devastation up there. So we were able to get, I believe it was 20 vendors.
Yeah, we're going to have 20 new vendors at the street fair that were previously in Altadena. So that's pretty exciting.
Super cool. Wine Walk is coming up. There are 25 stops on the Wine Walk. A lot of
They
stops.
are, yes, use your Monrovia Lift Pass. They were promoting
Yes.
to.
Or your bicycle.
Yeah,
or,
your bicycle. Well, no. 'cause
No,
you
don't
can be
get on your bike.
Drunk
Don't get on your
driving
bike.
on your bike. I was like, if I had 25 wine stops, I'd be crawling.
That's what, yeah.
But I think that's great. I love that.
I don't think you'll get to the 25.
And you don't, and also too, if you don't drink, you don't have to
don't
drink
have to,
wine. You can just go and see
Just
places
go.
you might not have been to. So that's a cool thing too. The library is ready for spring break. So if you'd like to find out what's going on, go to the library. Next week is spring break. There's a lot of cool stuff happening. You can hear about that an hour 17 in on the link below from Dr. Kelly, Councilmember Spicer's update, community services update. Also talked about checking out the Monrovia Today. Mayor Shevlin highlighted the Jones Sisters event coming up in May, which I thought was really cool. They're getting gravestones. These are two women who were not recognized. Their story is pretty powerful. So that's coming up in May with the Changemakers. Talked about the pools, mosquito breeding grounds. Monrovia Reads also. She had a tough 5th grade room that she was there at.
That's
graduated
a tough crowd.
Yeah.
That's a 5th
Fifth is
grade.
tough.
That's tough. I commend her for even walking into that room.
For sure. For sure. She also talked about, went to DC and discussed funding up there. There was a lot of questions with not a lot of answers.
For the Foothill Transit.
Yes. And then that went to Administrative Report 1, AR1. At an hour 33 in, Dylan shared slides on the multi-year lease with Community Media of the Foothills, which is
Right.
KGEM is
Right.
underneath the umbrella of Community Media of the Foothills. So that's when they're talking about CMF, that's like the big umbrella that KGEM sits underneath. They talked about franchise versus PEG fees, which I learned a lot. What's paid by cable operators to local government. Go an hour 33 in and just kind of see more about what happens here and the work that's going on. Scope of work, key changes and updates. They were talking about the performance-based payment, the partnership. And
It's actually really important because it is, because of changes in technology, where there's an economic change coming.
Yeah.
And we're going to see that not only here, we're going to see it in a lot of other areas.
There were lots of slides to help navigate through it. And they talk about how there were 22, they have been finalists for 22 awards, and they've actually got 15 awards.
Awesome. I love it. David Palomares, director, he shared thoughts as well. I liked his comment about transparency being a vaccine against corruption and how special this place is for it really being an advocate for true free speech. AR2, it's 2 hours in. I'm not going to hold you. This was a lot. At 2 hours in, just go. It is
Not
the
even
fun.
close to
Yeah,
being done.
It is correct. It is the year-end summary, budget update, operating budget, current fiscal position, general fund overview, other fund adjustments, completed projects, current ongoing projects. It was followed up by a discussion, but again, go 2 hours in on the link below.
Buffy does a really good job. So it is,
Yes.
and it's important for us in our city to understand where our funding is coming from and what it's going to. So I do think it's, in all of our interest to look at that.
For sure. And Administrative Report 3, 2 hours and 23 minutes in, they talked about the local campaign finance limits to eliminate corruption or appearance of corruption in voting, and the dollar amount of they kind of were talking about 200 to 400 or.
Well, it was super interesting. So there's state guidelines, but it's so interesting. They went back and looked at the last 5 elections, what people donated to various campaigns, and pretty much most of it, with was in within 500 to 1,000, I think. But there was like apparently a 14,000 donation to one person, and I was like,
But that was like a self-funded campaign.
but it was a
though.
self-funded campaign,
Right.
yeah.
So
But I love that actually we're not talking these huge numbers.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Monrovia is not a massive city. We're not talking hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
And so our people who are in city council should be able to get out and meet and talk to these people and not have to spend a lot of money to do
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Money should not be a barrier to entry to be on the city council.
Yeah, that part. There was no decision made. I didn't see when Councilmember Jimenez left. I might have been.
Right before that, he had a family emergency,
Yeah.
so he had to leave. I think it was before that. It might have even been before that.
So they didn't come to a decision, but they kind of closed out there with the next meeting being April 1st. Without that being a joke, it is really on April 1st. And they adjourned at 10 o'clock.
Yes.
At 10:08 to be exact.
Yeah. I was going to say there were 8 extra minutes there. But
Yeah, 10:08. So, look, I know that might feel like a lot as you're like, I can't be a part of this recap team or sit and do that. It's a labor of love. Like, we love the community. We love, and I like learning from people and getting to meet people. Like, that's the cool part, too. Like, I've gotten to meet people that I wouldn't have gotten to know here in our town. So, we'd love for you to join us. I know it's 2.5 hours, but if you do that once every 6 months.
And they're not all. I've been to city council
sure.
meetings that were super short, and I was like, oh, I have nothing to talk about at the recap.
Yeah, those are the quick recaps that we get to real fast.
They're not all this long.
Yeah,
So
this is
they're
longer than
not all super short.
Yeah. Carmen, thank you for joining us
You're
today.
welcome. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, Jodine, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you watching. We hope it was helpful. And we will catch you at the next recap. Thanks so much.